Remember when we were younger, and we'd play your favorite song, and then we'd be dancing all night long, just lost in the rhythm, babe. Just lost in the rhythm now. Just lost in the rhythm, babe. Just lost in the rhythm now. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about using AUM with the Xtone Pro. Before we get into the video, I do just want to say that I did reach out to Xsonic asking them if they would send me the Xtone Pro for me to do some videos with, to make some demos and tutorials, and they were for it. They sent it to me, and this video is actually the only video they requested that I make with it, is using it alongside AUM. So I had actually never tried AUM for my guitar effects before I started testing it out to make this video. I'm just blown away by how great this is. It really is one of the best experiences for guitar effects on iOS. It's not necessarily the easiest to use because you have to really put all the different things in yourself and be able to set up your patches and everything. But after you've put that work in, setting it up, it really is just so good sounding. And there's two main takeaways that I have that I wanted to tell you guys, like why I think this is such a game-changing setup. And first off, it's that you get to pick whatever effects you want to combine together. If you are using bias effects or overloud through, you can only use the effects that are inside that app, right? But if you use AUM to build your patch, you can use any effects that you want. So you could grab the Nimbrini guitar effects as your amp simulation. You can put, the black hole reverb as your reverb, and maybe the K7D as your delay to have a really cool tape delay. It really gives you a lot more options and variety when you're building your patches, and allows you to kind of cherry pick the best sounding stuff that iOS has to offer. The second thing is with AUM, it really opens up a lot of possibilities when it comes to live performances. And that's why I recorded the demo at the beginning of this video the way that I did, is to show you that you can have multiple patches set up for your guitar. So like what I did is I have this clean channel, and then I had a dirty channel. And then I also ran effects on my vocals, and I was able to route that all through AUM and control it with the Xtone. And you'd be able to do that live if you wanted to, which is just crazy that you could run two different instruments through this interface and control effects for both of them on separate channels. You could send one out through the left and one out through the right, so that you could send that to the front of house and then be able to mix it in with other instruments at appropriate volumes. It's just really crazy to think about all the possibilities that this thing opens up with all the routing options and all the MIDI control capabilities that it has. With this video, instead of me diving into setting up patches in AUM, I wanted to focus more on the MIDI mapping, just to show you how AUM interacts with the Xtone Pro. Let's get started taking a look at the Xtone Pro. So with the Xtone Pro, you have these 6 buttons on the top, but you also have 3 banks. So it actually gives you 18 different assignable values when it comes to MIDI. So what you do to change banks, any of these bottom 3, you just hold down until the light changes color. So now it's on the blue bank. If you go back to A and hold down, it's going to go back to the green bank. And then if you hold down on C, it's going to go to the red bank. And let's go ahead and just put it back on the blue for the rest of this video. The other thing that's definitely worth knowing about the Xtone Pro is there's different modes that it can be in. These different modes are going to change certain things about the way the Xtone acts. So for example, if you hold down A and V, it puts it in green mode, and you can see that it's green mode because the light flashed green. but then it goes back to blue, which is the bank that we're in. So when it's in green mode, it's gonna light up the last button that you pressed, and that's how it's gonna interact with you. But what's really cool is when you put it in red mode by holding B and C, and you can see it flashes red and then goes back to blue because it's in the blue bank, is that it's gonna light up when you've turned an effect on. So this is really great for guitar players because when you press that button, it shows you whether that effect is activated or not. And so if you say you had your overdrive set to A and your reverb set to B, you could tell whether they're on or not just by looking at the Xtone. And that's something that's really cool because you can kind of lose sight of things on the screen sometimes. So now that we have the Xtone set up how we want it to be set up, we're going to go ahead and MIDI map a few things. So the first thing that you're going to need to do to MIDI map inside of AUM is to go in your settings and actually turn on that device as the MIDI controller, right? So that's how you do it. You just select the Xtone Pro here at the bottom, and that'll be the same for whatever MIDI device you're trying to use. When you go back, this is where you would set up general controls for AUM. So this is where you'd set up your tap tempo. This is where you set up record, play, that kind of stuff. I wanted to start out with just showing you guys how to set like the mute and unmute for this channel. So when you go to MIDI control a specific channel, what you do is go click on the title of that channel at the bottom, and then you come to this little icon in the corner. This is always the MIDI icon. So anytime you see that stands for MIDI. So you'd come here, and what we want to do is we want to assign MIDI to the mute. You can see these are the main settings up here. So you have mute, and you want to take it off of toggle, and you want to put on invert. The toggle thing, just turn that off. That's something that I've realized it usually just kind of gets in the way. The invert is that you want the light to come on when it's not muted, and then the light to go off when it's muted. So that's why you press invert. And then you press, once you have those things set the way you want them to be set, you press learn, and then you press the button that you want it to be mapped to. We're going to go ahead and map it to the D button. And so that's done. Let's go back, and now you'll see that when we press this and the green light's on, that you have it unmuted, and then when the green light's off, it's muted, right? So you can hear it, and then you can't hear it. Next thing I want to show you is how to turn on and off a specific AUV3 unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to map this A button to the black hole reverb on this channel. So you're going to click the same way, you're going to go into the MIDI settings, but this time instead of going up here, we're going to go down to black hole, and we're going to click parameters, and we're going to press the bypass, right? And just like before, you don't want the toggle on, we do want the invert on, and we're going to press learn, and then we're going to press A. And you can see it kind of flashes when it learns it. So we'll go back to this window. Now we'll press, and you can see, so the reverb is off, reverb's on. So that's how you would MIDI map an AUV3 unit. So the next thing I want to show you is how you would do a volume control. You just come in, same thing, you come down to the name, you click the MIDI control button, and then you would just press volume in this main window. You press learn, and then you move your expression pedal. So now we've mapped the volume to this channel. And something that you're going to want to pay attention to is different pedals work differently. This pedal has a sensitivity control right here, and this is actually something that I didn't realize when I was making the unboxing video. So I have the sensitivity turned all the way up, which allows me to turn this up and down all the way. But say if I had it on a lower setting, you can see that it only gives you some of the range of motion. So just be conscious of that with whatever expression pedal you're using to make sure that you have the settings right on the pedal. So if you never tried using AUM for your guitar effects, I highly recommend it. It's a little bit more complicated when it comes to setting up the patches, but once you've set them up, it really offers you so much flexibility and control over everything. And especially when you combined it with something like the Xtone Pro, it really is such a great experience. And I know I didn't cover very much about the specs or anything like that, but this pedal really sounds great. I guess if you can call it a pedal, it's like a, you almost don't even know what to call it because it can do so many different things. It's an interface, MIDI controller, guitar pedal, like it's just all of it. But it's a really great interface, and I enjoyed how the guitar sounds through it. I enjoy how my vocals sound through it. It's definitely going to be my main iOS interface from here on out. I highly recommend it. So if you want to check that out, I'll have that link down below. But as always, die empty. I'll catch you in the next one.